common traits. And again, we talked about luring it, making it a glamorous thing. You'll see someone who was cut from a football team or a basketball team or a volleyball team, vulnerable, low self-esteem. A boyfriend or girlfriend just broke up with them, and they're at a particular low time for them. Failing class, bad grades, gaining weight, bad acne, just going through a really, really tough time.
Which is something all of our kids are going through.
Oh my gosh.
It happens to everybody at some point. It's something we experienced.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, there's people watching and seeing that and preying upon it.
And that's the perfect time for them to come in and begin to groom them. I'd like everybody here in the audience, and please, if you're watching this, please take a picture of this slide. Please take a picture of this. We have had several experts in the area, survivors, give us input on this. These are the 6 steps for you to be able to identify. This is the recruiting process. This is how they lure children away, our children away. First, they'll just befriend them at a church retreat. I'm your friend and I'm one of you, and they'll connect with them. Secondly, intoxicate. And again, this isn't getting them drunk. This might be offering them a vape for the first time. Anything that is outside the bounds of what's okay, just to show them this is fun. Second is alienate. I always think of that as with a parent. Oh my gosh, your parents are so harsh. They are so strict. This is ridiculous. I'm so glad I don't live in your house. I don't know what I would possibly do. I feel so sorry for you. You're oh my God, you poor thing. Isolate. They begin to isolate. Oh, your friends, they don't appreciate you. It's so hard. They're just a clique. They don't appreciate you for who you really are. I understand. I see you. I see what you really, really want, who you are. They don't get you. Hang out with me. Hang out with us. Come on over to my place. Come on over to my house. Is it really their house? Are these really their parents? You don't know. Your kids don't know. And they'll begin to text them and reaffirm you're beautiful, people don't appreciate you, your parents don't appreciate you. Begin to just isolate them, and all of a sudden, you might not see it, but they're not hanging out with their same group. They're hanging out with a different group. And are your friends, your child's friends, are they noticing it, that they're not hanging out with them? And then desensitize. Again, is it the vaping? Is it the drinking? And it's okay, everybody does it. This is the way of life. You just didn't know before. Everybody does this. Everybody does this. It's okay to take a picture with your shirt off. It's okay. Everybody does it. It's no big deal. And hang out with us. Just spend the night. You don't have to call your mom. Or it could be just leave your phone in the mailbox so your parents on Life 360 think that you are here. But come with us. Everybody does this. No big deal. Your parents. And then you can just go back and we'll pick it up and get you home in time. And then finally, capitalize. They will take them and capitalize on them. And many girls will leave or go to bed and go out and be sold and come back home. And this is the point where they will say, I've got pictures of you, videos of you naked doing things, and I will put it on, I will sell it, I will put it on for everybody to see. If you don't come with me, if you don't do these things, I will show your parents, and you will be ruined at school. And that is capitalizing on that. And they are trapped. Or just taken. Now, what we just talked about is very scary for our families and for us. But what I always try and do, and Danae and I have done with our kids, is you do not want this to be a scary, dark thing. Put it in a healthy fear. We've all planted those seeds of healthy fears. When they're younger, don't smoke, it's a bad thing. But the important thing is know these signs, know these 6 signs to be aware of, and go ahead and talk to your kids. Make it a healthy conversation. So, and just use the words, I want to keep you safe. I want to protect you. Like we were just saying, your community. We need to bring that community back. Talk to your parents about it and your friends about it at cocktail conversations. This is a tough cocktail conversation, but I've talked to all of my friends about it. I've gotten them involved in Houston 20. We have got to arm ourselves and protect ourselves and make ourselves aware and just educate ourselves about this. We've got to be smart about this because they are smart. And we just got to protect ourselves. That is all. And protect our kids so they are smart. So they don't go to the mall by themselves. They have got to go in packs of 3 and 4. They do not go to the restroom by themselves in the mall. They go together. They watch out for each other and they know what can happen. Where's my phone? Flash your phone. This is not their friend. This is the tool that people will use to get to them. And do we as parents know who's on the other end of texts, of Snapchat, of Instagram? Who is seeing these pictures and what they send out? Do they know who is on the other end? Do they know everybody? Is the person that is, Sam, is he 30 years old or is he really 16 and goes to their school? They've got to be smart, and that's all we have to do is educate them. And it's okay. It's not scary. It's just being smart and protecting our own and the community. That's what you've talked to Bella about it. Poor Bella. My poor daughter Caitlin, Mom, enough. But we just got to discuss with family and friends. And I think another thing, and you helped us go to Austin in the last legislative session, and I would implore all of you to get involved in the laws. We were successful in Austin last legislative session. We went up there and we visited your state representative, remember?
I do.
Yes, and thank God. I mean, we knocked on the door and you sat there and talked with the staff member and talked to your member. It's now the beginning of the legislative session in Austin, and we have a piece of legislation called the SMART Act, and it seems so logical to us. It is passed in other states. We're just asking our legislators to raise the minimum age to work in a sexually oriented business, strip clubs, but other businesses where they might sell other items, to raise it from the age of 18 to 21. That is all. It seems very logical to us. You have to be 21 years old to go into an establishment. You have to be 21 years old to drink in that establishment. But you only have to be 18 years old to, I'll just go ahead and say it. Do you mind?
No.
You only have to be 18 years old to strip. And many girls who say they are 18 and might have a fake ID are only 15 or 16 years old. And for many of them, this might be the first step. I'm not going to say might. I'm just going to be bold.
It is oftentimes the first step to being trafficked. And so much of them are experiencing a lot of pressure from their bosses and different things. So by just changing this age, we feel like we could slow down this process tremendously.
Right. Well, and think about it. When you're 18, you're still a child. I mean,
and you look at authority and your boss and you feel like it's difficult to say no. And so much of this has been glamorized on social media and movies and different places, and it's not glamorous when it's actually happening.
That's right. That's right. So again, it's called the SMART Act, and we really want to get it passed in this legislative session. So that is part of what Houston 20 does, is we advocate to change laws. And actually that's part of, I'm going to switch here to our overall, the fight for us is our overall movement. You can see here that Houston 20 is a part, just a small part of that movement. We do a lot of the fundraising and the advocacy, the grassroots part. And HAT here, you see, that is the nonprofits that we work and help fund and give grants to. We have the law enforcement part, the Human Trafficking Rescue Alliance, and they are the ones that are out, boots on the ground, working to recover victims and to help us shut down these brothels, these massage parlors that we talked about. We work very closely with the governor's office, with Governor Abbott's office, and those organizations. And then if you look here to the right, we also have OGTAG, and that is a lot of more than 60 oil and gas companies and corporations who are also doing work to ensure that this type of behavior does not happen within their companies. You have already thankfully talked about who the Houston 20 members are. This talks about the gaps that we fill. As I mentioned, we are working to open up a stabilization facility for For the girls when ages 11 to 18, when they are recovered, they will have a safe place to go right away. And we raised over $1 million at a fundraiser to purchase a facility, and it will be opening up this fall, again for girls ages 11 to 18. It is called The Haven, and we are so honored to be able to work with organizations to be able to make that happen. But you can see we have events, and as you mentioned, we have our fundraiser coming up on May 17th, a luncheon, and our good friend Laura Davenport is heading up that effort. And we have several grants that we give, and then again the key advocacy part, and we would love your help in passing the SMART Act up in Austin. We need you to write your state representatives and your senators to let them know how incredibly important that piece of legislation is. So what did I miss? Join us in this fight.
And I am really compelled to share the average age of a traffic victim is
13.
13, not 14.
The average age of a child that is trafficked is 13.
So just think about that in your families and think about what we can be doing as a community. And there's so many different organizations. Amy and Jennifer go out and speak to organizations. We go through churches. We go through groups and individuals. So if you want to learn more, there's everything from stopping the onset of it. We hosted Demand Disruption on a prior podcast. There's also organizations that are actually in the trenches trying to help.
The Landing, Elijah Rising. We have so many partner organizations who, again, they are the experts. We helped fundraise to ensure they have all the resources and support that they need. And again, we need your help in advocating for the legislation. So again, they have that foundation in which to launch and recover and save these survivors. And we have the honor of knowing and working with the survivor leaders who are mentoring and helping the survivors start this new journey and chapter in their lives. And there is hope, and that's the most important thing. They often say, you do not have a testimony unless you have been tested. And our survivors have such strong testimony in which they are able to help survivors find their way. And every survivor has their own unique journey and path in life to find where God is going to take them from here. And Audrey Hepburn, for all of us, Audrey Hepburn, who is so involved in UNICEF and helping children around the world, she always said you have two hands, one to help yourself, and I would probably say our community, but the other is to help others. And so I would just ask you to get involved in this movement. This is our next generation of leaders. They will have their testimony to help us here in Houston, in Texas, in the United States. And the world is getting smaller and smaller every day, and we need this group of leaders to ensure that we have a world that we want to raise our children in. So, Danae, thank you for giving us a chance to talk about what we're doing here in Houston and how everybody can get involved. Our website, fightforus.org, and you can get involved. Go to your website. You can find us, or we will find you, and we just want you to get involved. Thank you.
Yes. So events May 17th and June 8th, and we'll be posting them on the Vintage Contessa Stories, and you can learn more about them there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing everyone next week where we talk about autism and reaching out to the community and how we can make a difference there.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.